Good to see you as always on a Monday morning. So the ceasefire's holding for now, but doesn't take much for those ceasefires to break if history tells us anything.
No, Pete, they've been at each other for a very long time. Look, Joe Biden is my 14th president. And what all these 14 presidents have in common is trying to negotiate or navigate peace in the Middle East. First with Franklin Roosevelt and then Harry Truman and others. And then there was the Cold War and necessity of relying on Arab oil and all the rest of it. And so, we've come to this. We've come to a state of Israel, which has about 9 million people, 21% who are Arabs, and they're in these occupied territories nearby with 3.7 more million Palestinians. And Israel doesn't know much what to do about it. They just go from one conflict to another with these people. But look, there's no doubt about it. For Hamas, this is a psychological victory. What I mean by that is that after 11 days and 4,400 rockets, they withstood the might of 1,000 Israeli sorties. And as I like to point out, those rockets that the Hamas throws up, they're $300 a pop. They're do-it-yourself rockets.
Yeah.
And the rockets that the Israelis use from a $50 million machine are $40,000 each, and those are 60 load up at a time in 3 launchers. So in an asymmetric way, the Hamas has done a job on them. And keep in mind who Hamas's backers are. Iran, who's the bad guy in the Middle East right now, and then you got Qatar, which is the outlier among the Gulf Arab states, and Turkey, who's a NATO member. So it all gets terribly complicated. And to give you an idea how weak the American position has been there the last 11 or 12 days, the Chinese came up with a 4-point peace plan in the Security Council. I mean, they have enough courage to say, hey, maybe it's our turn to get into the Middle East. But look, it's a very dangerous time ahead of you. This period of quiet, of course, or calm should not be taken as a solution to anything. And I think the Israelis are going to have a way to go on this. And of course, Joe Biden has gone off the path here. I mean, he's concentrated on China and Russia and the Iranian nuclear deal. And now he's had to re-engage in Israel, where he will probably lead the humanitarian efforts. But this isn't where Biden wants to go. And if Biden's too hard on the Israelis, particularly Netanyahu, you can kiss that Iranian deal goodbye. I mean, he needs the Israelis on side for this. So the equation has got very complicated. But I think the most important thing in the last couple of weeks is that the American public is demanding rights for the Palestinian people, not just the American Democratic, in the Democratic Party, which has started to break out of this, but they're coming around to Bernie Sanders and emphasizing human rights. And as I've said on your show, that Biden's people are leading with human rights in their foreign policy. So they're demanding for an equal deal, which comes back to the 2-state solution. Of course, there ain't going to be a 2-state solution because it's not possible to do it in a place the size of Israel. So, but what they have to do is come up with a ceremonial solution so that we can say we've solved this problem in our generation. Not all people are equal, but the 14th Amendment says they are, so that makes it equal. You need something here to get off the hook.
Joe, we'll leave it there. We'll talk to you again next week. See you soon.
Okay.